Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Second Lap. Our live shows. Just realized I forgot to give Ronnie my mileage. I'll have to check that out later. We'll update you. It's 38,100 and something. So it's a long freaking way. Very grateful and proud. Today we have a returning guest. He's an RN. He's a medical, call it powerhouse of knowledge and dad jokes and ordinals and a VeeFriends. I'm just kidding. I know he's over there. Bring on the guest, please.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, there he is. Welcome.
Oh,
We've
no,
got
Robbie,
Blazer.
I can't hear you. Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfect.
Okay, you can hear me. I can't hear you. So that's a me problem.
I'm looking to see. I'm not muted.
I can't hear Robbie. Maybe I need to refresh. Thumbs up for refreshing.
Okay.
All right.
Welcome, Second Lab audience. I'm not sure what refreshing is. It feels like he's rebooting, which is what we used to do back in the early days of Microsoft devices. Hopefully I won't get in trouble with Microsoft for that. Blaze.
All right. Hey, I can hear you now.
Yes. All right. We restarted. We're back. Most of the time you'll hear people give NFA, not financial advice. We're going to go after the healthcare professional here with some health advice. Hopefully,
do it.
Yeah, we won't go too deep. Good morning, Chambo. Welcome. I'm just going to say hi sometimes when people come in live.
Yeah.
I asked people to give me a question for you, Blaze. I'm like, hey, I'm going to have this guy on. What is it? And I had a person that I didn't really expect to send me the question, and I'm going to pull out the piece of paper. Don't want to make sure I say it right to you.
Yeah.
Why do healthcare people treat symptoms as opposed to the root cause?
Man, that's such a good question.
Thank you.
And so, hearing that question, that makes me think that that individual has a family member or a personal experience where they were looking for care and they experienced that, where no one treated the root cause and they're just treating the symptoms.
That's what
And
it would
so
seem like to me as well.
if that isn't the case, I'm sorry, but still, it's a good question. And I look at it from two perspectives, because
Okay.
the first perspective is the two main people. You interact with tons of people in the hospital, but if I was to ask somebody who you interacted with in the hospital, usually if you're not a doctor, you're a nurse. And it doesn't matter if you're a nursing assistant, a sonographer, an ultrasound technician, a transport person. People just think that if you're not a doctor, you're a nurse, even though there's hundreds of different roles of people in the hospital. And so really what is the root cause of anything? And that's should be, as long as they're diagnosing correctly, what's wrong with that particular person is the diagnosis. And then the doctor recommends, okay, they have an infection. Let's get them this antibiotic. Their pancreas isn't working. They're not producing enough glucose. They need this kind of insulin, or they have this kind of cancer. So we're going to do radiation or chemotherapy or something like that. And so that's addressing the root cause. Whereas I feel that it's more my job as the nurse, and I think the doctors too, to really assess for those signs and symptoms. Are they nauseated? Do they have pain?
Right.
And I think it gets into a real quality of life conversation. And so I think that's interesting. One of the things that I always tell my students, you break your leg and you come in and maybe you didn't know you broke it, but you're in pain. And so I think so often that people are like, oh my gosh, they got this x-ray, their bone's broken, we got to fix it. We're going to put it in a cast and hopefully it heals up. But I think it's really important, even though that's the source of the problem. I always tell my students, don't forget, they came in because they're in pain. So let's make sure when they're leaving, the pain has gone down or it's gone. So I think, ultimately you should be treating both. And I think that's a really good question.
Well, that's good. Just trying to think of where I was going to go. So I think that, yeah, obviously it sounds like they had some issues in the past, and I heard them saying, hey, instead of figuring out what's wrong with me, they just gave me Advil and told me, take two, call me tomorrow. That's, but I don't know. I feels like most of the healthcare that I've had to deal with, they are trying to find, hey, you're having issues here. Like for me, I'm dealing with, I had some AFib going on. And in order to fix the AFib, he started to look at other things and he's like, will you take your blood pressure for me every day? And I took my blood pressure and it was probably, call it 90% of the time, it was like 145 to 150 over, call it 85 to 90.
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't sound like it's high, but it's high, like all the time. And so he put me on medication to bring that down. And he's like, you may not lose the problem of the AFib you're having, but we have to address the blood pressure irregardless of whether or not we, actually fix the AFib, right? So I've experienced both, and I don't know. We're going down a rabbit hole. All right, so now that we've got everybody caught, that was our hook. I'm teaching you how to do this thing. Now that we've got the hook, did you always want to be in healthcare?
Yeah, I think so, because how you're in high school and they make you take all these tests and they're like, you should go into sales, you should be a business person, you should be a vet, you should be an entrepreneur. I think I always got marketing, but growing up, my dad was a car salesman and it was always feast or famine in sales. And I just remember it being, from a kid's perspective, I thought it was very stressful. And
Okay.
then when I was playing pool at a bar once when I was 16, some guy was talking about how he was going to school to be a nurse. And I'm like, that sounds dumb. You're a guy. Why would you want to do that? And he's like, nah, dude, you can get a job anywhere. You'll always have a job no matter where you go. You get to work
Right.
with a bunch of women and it's great. You should check it out. And then that's when I was 16. I'm like, you know what? That sounds pretty good. And that's it.
That's a good story. I like that.
Oh, no,
I
I can't hear you again, Robbie.
really? Is it me this time? I mean, I'm the one that left and came back. Are you sure? Live podcast. We do the best we can. He looks frozen to me. Usually I feel like it's me, even though I know he's moving this time. But I always feel it's me. So I pick up my pace to try and get in a better coverage in case it is
Could be
me.
me. I'm going to say it's me.
Ronnie, is he back?
I'm
Can you
back.
tell?
Can you hear me? No.
I want to talk to him because I'm in sales and my dad is in sales as well. And I think I felt very similar to Blaze, sort of that anxiety. And I also felt like it was really the only way that I had control over kind of my own destiny. So I feel like we had a similar experience, but I went a different way.
Can you hear me now, Robbie? Can Robbie hear me?
I think I'm recording still. Sometimes you got to have faith in the podcast industry. Blaze, come back. Blaze is in the New York area, and I'm in
Robbie,
Dallas.
can you hear me now?
We were having this amazing technology conversation where we were able to talk about stuff, and now he's gone.
Robbie, I'm back. Can you hear me now? Robbie.
All right.
Robbie.
I'm trying to figure out if he's going to come back. I'm like a good podcast guy. I've got mine on Do Not Disturb, so I can't tell if either one of them are trying to let me know what's going on. I should be back in coverage if I had any issues. Ronnie, are you still there?
Robbie, can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
it's 80 degrees here in Dallas. 5 degrees. Feels
Robbie,
hotter. It's humid here as well. So you're probably seeing some sweat on my face.
chat, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know if I
Okay.
think Robbie has been disappeared somehow, unless he can
Wait
see
and
and hear
see.
me right now.
I can see and hear Robbie.
This morning, I got to spend 3 hours at the elementary school that my grandsons and my daughter teach at.
I will try to alert him.
And we
This
did
is
field day.
quality live TV right now.
And
give me a minute.
Emmy and I had a thing where we were managing the kids doing the tire flipping race. So they were set up in a line. They had 4 of them, 4 tires. And they would have to flip all the way down to the cone, around the cone and back. And they were doing races. And eventually it kind of went sideways. Emmy got pulled over to another station. So it was just me. And I had a couple kids and felt like they were doing okay. Like they were going to be all right for a second. And I went to the car and I grabbed my podcast. Basically, I have this case or whatever you want to call it, a tripod that holds the phone. And I do the podcast while I'm holding it. And it keeps the phone sideways so I get the landscape. And I went out to the car to get this. And when I came back, my daughter was at the tire station. And kids, it was like the kids were off the hook. They were rolling tires. They had expanded the field to twice as big. So it was pretty intense. Anyways, kind of hoping somebody lets me know whether or not this is doing anything. Ronnie, are you there?
Robbie,
Blaze, are you back?
I'm here. I've been here. I left and came back a couple of times.
I can't tell.
Robbie, can you hear me? I see you. Robbie,
Hey,
can you hear me?
modern technology.
All right, good. I can hear you. You can hear me, right?
The beauty of live podcasts. What could you hear? Could you hear me saying anything?
Yeah, I could hear you. And I heard you talk about flipping tires and getting your podcast case, and you're talking about how your dad was in sales.
It was me.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so it's all still there. My dad was in sales as well. So I was listening to your experience and I'm like, man, I had just a completely different reality, a different perspective. You know, my dad has 4 children. 3 of us are in high-tech sales like he, and 1 is in retail sales. So every child went to sales. And you rebelled from it and said, no, this is terrible. I'm going to go do something around girls and healthcare.
Yeah.
That's
But-
great. Is that how you met your bride?
Yeah. I met my wife on the elevator at the hospital.
Get out of town.
Yeah, she was talking to her friend about how she just broke up with her boyfriend. I was like, hey, you're single, I'm single, we should hang out. And I gave her my number, and she's a couple years older than me. So she was hesitant at first. but then I was able to swoon her over when she finally called or texted me like 6 months later.
Okay. Well, that's great. And you guys
Yeah.
both in healthcare. Is she a doctor?
Yeah. She's a menopause doctor, and like
Okay.
does a bunch of cool stuff with menopause.
And it's not something that relates to what you and I do at all.
No, not at all. Nope.
Okay. Yeah,
Unless you
yeah. I was
have
gonna say, yeah, no, I was gonna say for me, I've tried to listen to a bunch of her tips, and when I implement them, nothing changes in my life. So I was just like, okay, I think this is targeted to a different audience. And I felt kind of like left out. And then I realized we don't have menopause. So,
nope,
you know,
no
okay.
uterus over
No,
here.
yeah, no, I noticed that she was doing that. My wife is actually a couple years older than me as well, and went through that and takes, and I don't think I'm breaking any rules here, but she uses or gets a pellet of testosterone put in her hip
Oh, the
every
ooh.
90 days and goes through that process. And I know that I've seen Heather talk about that. So I just thought it was kind of interesting that, I actually do understand the conversation, but it's just not for you and me.
Yep. That's so interesting. Yeah, because
Met her in the elevator. Go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say she does talk about pellets from time to time, and it's very interesting because people are very like, yes, 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 or no, no, no. But it's definitely a lot of money has been pouring into menopause over the past couple of years, and a lot of women are getting more help and feeling better because as you get older, you shouldn't have to feel like shit because of those different things. So I think it's awesome.
No, I think it's great. I think it is good. Is this the first? I think she wrote a book. Is this the first book that she's written?
No, her second book came out because she did one on menopause. Then she did one on like perimenopause, which starts when
Okay.
you're like late 30s, early 40s, and then yeah, so she has her own practice where she like has some nurse practitioners that work for her, and then she sells courses to doctors to be better menopause doctors. So yeah, she's a beast.
That's great. I love the boldness of the hey, we're both single. Here's my number. Give me a call. That that feels like a non. What's the new generation? That feels like a Gen X kind of thing.
Yeah, because it's really non-threatening, and it like
Right.
puts the woman in more of like a power position, and yeah, just because like especially like in the workplace, you got to be careful. You can't go around like slapping coworkers' booties and saying, "Hey, we should hang out sometime." But it was just like it's
No,
nonchalant.
it really feels like the '70s was the last time that was allowed.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's highly frowned upon. I'm not going to give any financial advice, but I will tell you it is probably not career enhancing to slap a coworker on the behind ever.
ever. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do
Yeah,
it.
don't do it unless you're a quarterback. If you're Tom Brady and you're hitting the tight end in his tight end, that's okay. But that's really the only time it's okay.
And that is, I mean, that is interesting to think about. Is like at some point there probably will be a lawsuit where like coach tapped me on the butt, and I don't like it. I don't know.
Blaze, I really hope that that's wrong. I really feel like that actually is the trajectory we're on. And it's like, but that's how else is the coach going to get you to understand what he's meaning without touching your butt?
I don't know.
I mean, I just don't know how. I don't know how you transfer the message completely. All right, I've digressed. Do you find do you guys have like lots of conversations about healthcare related stuff, or do you guys like both want to just get the F away from healthcare and just be on your own and talk about Pokemon and what the kids did and ballerinas and stuff like that? I mean, what do you talk healthcare?
I don't know. Like since she runs these like different businesses, like she's always in work mode.
Okay.
I don't want to say always, but like 90% of the time. So like for me, I feel like it's my job to set her up for success to be a good mom. So I don't we don't talk about healthcare too much. Every now and then we
Okay.
do, but I think I think when we come together, it's usually about how are kids doing, what do they need, what don't they need, that kind of stuff.
Right. No, I think you guys are doing good. I love, I want to give you flowers. I love the fact that when I know or I'm watching you and you're like, hey, she's going to be out this weekend. So it's just me and the kids. And I've got this plan. I've got this plan. And we're going to eat this meal. And we're going to do it. And you you're like Mr. Mom. You're like Michael Keaton, and you're drying the kids' behind with the hair dryer or the
Oh
hand
yeah.
dryer kind of thing. That I want to make sure you knew what the movie I was talking about. But it feels very much like, there's people that are planners and there's people that are like go with the flow, and you feel very coordinated.
Oh, thank you. I'd say I'm like a week of planner because like I know there's some people that are like month planners and they're like,
Right.
okay, we're doing this in 3 weeks. Can you be there? And I'm like, I'm gonna be completely honest. If me or my kids wake up that day and we don't want to do that, we're not gonna go. So unless it's like a sporting event that they're like part of a team. So I always
Meaning
tell
you
like
don't
even
like
my
to plan things. You just want to do and worry about this week, not anything else.
100% like
Okay.
coming from where it's like if you have expectations, if you don't have any expectations, they can't be broken. And
Right.
so like I don't know what the weather's gonna be that day. I don't know what like kind of mood my 9-year-old daughter is gonna be in, but I do know like I don't know what I like doing activities with them on the weekends. And so my goal is always let's go get brunch, let's go to the YMCA, let's go to this fair or whatever. What's the exact thing we're gonna do? I don't know. We're gonna do something. What will it be? I don't know.
That's great. I like that. I mean, I think it won't, I try to think of what it will give you in positive things in your kids in the future. All the kids that go to the therapist because their parents did this when they were 9 and therefore, now they can't park their car straight in a parking like
Yep,
structure.
yep, yep.
And you're actually doing things that are going to give them behaviors like, hey, I'm not going to stress out about this deadline because
Nope.
it's not even real. Like we made up the deadline, so your kids won't have that anxiety, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yep. And like it kind of sucks from like some perspective because there's just like we used to go to church a lot, but not so much anymore just because it's just so hard to get all 3 kids out of the bed and dressed.
Right.
Like and I think they need more sleep. So that's tough, but
You can
I
watch
think
it
they're doing okay.
online. Well, I was going to say we
Yeah.
actually watch a program from where our kids are in North Carolina. So you
Yeah.
don't have to be there. So
That's true.
and I think once again you're giving them a gift instead of you know your daughter coming in and saying, God, I hate it every Sunday because you pulled my hair into that knot on the top of my head and
Yeah.
I just didn't want to go. And you won't have done that. Did you ever figure out who broke your TV?
Huh. Yeah. Oh man, that was such a fun time on X. If anybody doesn't know, like a year and a half ago, my daughter had her first sleepover, and she had one of these like glow wands. She was like playing with her friend, and she threw it at the TV and shattered the corner. And she tried to play it off like she didn't know it happened. And I'm like, well, the TV didn't break itself, so it was either you, your friend, or somebody else. And so at the bus station the next morning, I was like, her friend was there that said, then I said, hey, do you know what happened to our TV? And she got all red and she's like, I'm like, oh, okay. Huh. Um, yeah, but the funny thing is the TV's still hanging up. We haven't taken because it's a large TV and
Right.
it's like really unfortunate because it was really expensive. Um, but I just the person that was supposed to taking it off, someone was supposed to text this person back that wasn't me.
Right.
And when we finally texted them back, they were like, I asked you this question like 3 weeks ago. Like you're fired as a customer. So we got fired as a customer. But I get it. People are running businesses and it just and I think it goes back to like that laissez-faire that for the most part, me and my wife are on the same page of we're gonna get back to you. I don't know when, and it's really windy here, but
Yeah.
that's it.
And it's good. I think you know what, as I said, I'm giving you flowers. I think there is a lot of artificial tension, anxiety, and stress about things that really aren't important. And to be able to realize that, and maybe it's because you're lazy, and I'm just giving you flowers about being lazy, and that's fine as well. Because
No, I
it's
think about
I
that. No,
think
no,
you're
no.
doing
I
good
think
things.
about that too, because like I'm trying really hard to not wake up with an alarm anymore, and just like wake up when my body tells me to get up.
Yeah.
But like with that, um, you might miss some stuff. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I think to truly get the value out of that, your children have to be, call it 13 through 17 or whatever it is your range is gonna be, where the youngest one is, hey, dad and mom aren't cool anymore, and I want to make my own breakfast and I want to do my own clothes. And when you have that, you'll be able to really fully appreciate the, like, we got up this morning at 4:59.
wow,
We went to bed at 9:30. But you know, we woke up and the dog wanted to go out, and I mean, the laziest person in the house is the dog. Like, she wants to get back into the bed, and we're both up having coffee and playing Wordle, and then I've got a game. Oh God, I can't even think of all the ZIP on LinkedIn, where you have to like put these numbers in. So I do all these like brain exercise kind of games in the morning and catch up on X. I know you're a big X
yep,
creator,
yep.
ginormous Blaze on X News. I don't know if anybody knew that. Walter Cronkite wrote and said that he was trying to model some of his news behavior behind Blaze News.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I
oh
missed
yeah,
that.
actually, I don't know if Walter Cronkite's still here, so I apologize if he's passed. Um, but there's been a lot of news. Well, I mean, you know what? I don't know. Do you know who Ted Turner was?
Ted Tur-
Just passed.
No, I don't know.
It's okay not to know. He was 86 years old. He created
Okay.
CNN,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
won the America's Cup, which is a sailing contest, was married to Jane Fonda. Just, he was an old cowboy. He made some comment like, you know, if I had a little bit of, what was it? I don't know. I can't even remember the joke. He was just like an old cowboy. He had 2 million acres of land when he died,
That's crazy.
45,000 buffalo. Anyways, I
What do
don't
you
know
even
why
do
I
with
get
all
excited.
that?
What is he going to do with all the buffalo?
What do you do with all that buffalo? Yeah.
He created a restaurant in Atlanta called Ted's, and they serve buffalo hamburgers.
Oh, interesting.
He was all into conservation. He was all into that kind of thing. He just passed like a week ago, and I'm listening to his autobiography right now. I got really into it, and he wrote it when he was 70, so about 18 years ago. And it's just been really interesting. And a lot of it feels like it's kind of completely opposite of the way things are today. And you're just reminding me that, you know, being bold and going out and asking what you want, and, you know, is ours to make that choice.
100%. For me, because like, I think like a year ago, I was really grinding for like, to make money on X. And then I pretty much like deserted that as of like February with all the algorithm changes.
Right.
So now with Blaze on X News, I'm just like talking about stuff that I really like to talk about, which is like NFTs. So I was just doing ordinals, but I started yesterday talking about NFTs on Ethereum.
I listened to you yesterday. I felt like you were talking to me specifically, and that hey, I'm back and I'm going to talk about these. I don't want you to do anything that's outside your comfort zone. Like, you really are into ordinals.
Oh yeah. Well, I Slonks got me back into Ethereum, and then I mean the thing is, there's just so many more people on Ethereum than ordinals and Bitcoin,
Yeah, I agree.
and
What do you
maybe
think of
I'm the
Slonks? You brought Slonks up. Talk to me. What the hell is this thing? Like, it was point oh something mint. I ignored it because I was like, man, I've just seen way too many of these things. And next thing I know, I
uh
turn around and people are selling them for like 0.25 and point 0.5, and it's deflationary and doing all crazy stuff. Are you a holder?
yeah, I have 5 of them right now. I think at one point I had like 7, but I like sold some because they're all it's a learned language model that was
Okay.
squeezed into contract. And so the learned language model just copied all 10,000 CryptoPunks, and they're
Okay.
called, but AI is not perfect. And so there was like pixels that were off. And so it's like, what does everybody talk about? AI slop. So that's why they're called, instead of punks, they're slunks or slonks or whatever. So it's like AI
Okay.
slop punks. And
Slop and punks put together slonks. I got it now.
yeah, so now every one of those punks has a slop number for how many pixels are off from the original. And
Okay.
so the really interesting thing about that project is there's only 24 perfect copies. So out of the 10,000 punks that were copied, only, well, it was actually 32, but some of them got burned. But only 32 out of 10,000 were perfect replicas, which is kind of
Okay.
interesting to think about. But to make it gamified, the founder, you can like combine slonks to get higher slop numbers so they look even more unrecognizable. And then
Okay.
they're supposed to be worth more because there's a token tied to them, which is called slop. And so it's just like it goes back and forth where you can like turn slonks into slop coin, and then slop coin can be used to find slocks. But anyways, there was 10,000, and it's really windy. And, and I'm dying.
And you're
Um,
okay.
Yeah, there's only 7,000. No, there's less than 7,000 now. So
Okay.
already more than 30% of the project has been burned to create more slop or whatever.
Do you like that as opposed to just having 3,500 holders that have a bunch of stuff that could just dump on the floor and feel very unstable? Do you feel like it's a more stable project because they do things like that?
So my whole perspective on it is like, I just like people doing different things. Like, I want to see
Okay.
those like 10,000 PFP projects that just it's their PFP and that's it. I like seeing this project that like, squeezing a learned language model into a contract. There's another new one that came out this week called Hidalga or something like that,
Okay.
and it's another like LLM in the contract. But every time the piece switches wallets, the pixel art changes a little bit. So
Okay.
even if you buy it off secondary, you don't know the exact picture or JPEG that's going to land in your wallet. And then like, I just want to see a variety of different projects because I think it's just like how we're also individual. I think there should be that many projects.
I like that. I've tried to lean into a few, like regenerates as an example, thugs as an example. Both of these are projects that changed chains. So
Yeah,
had a good set of community behind them. One left abstract and went to ETH mainnet, and one I can't remember what they started, but they left and they went to base. That's regens. And now they're staked and earning coins and soft staking and things like that. So yeah, I'm the same with as you. I'm trying to feel all of the different spots on the craps table, trying to see what's different. Is there things that are missing? Is there things that, can I become a creator? I release some art, so I'm not just a collector. I'm also, an artist as well.
yep,
So I'm trying to fill all the shoes. Back to what I said earlier, we get to choose all this. Like it's our choice, and I think we hamstring ourselves or hinder ourselves, whatever the right word is, by our own definition of our, you know, who we are, as opposed to
yep.
just being.
And it's
So I
all
don't know.
like interesting, yeah, just to see the different art on the different chains and all that different stuff happening.
Are you still deep in VeeFriends? I don't seem to see you as much in VeeFriends.
No, like, because for VeeFriends, I'm like 90% there just for the community. So like my relationship with you, um, Tim Livingston, I keep in contact with quite a bit.
Yep.
Um, I'm not really doing the daily dads thing anymore just because like I couldn't fit it in the schedule with the kids. But always happy to connect with like Ryan and his brother and Dom. I still like I like the comics. I'm trying to catch up on the comic books, but I'm not going to buy a comic book for $25. Um, and then I did enter the EQL yesterday for the VeeFriends cards, and I won,
Okay.
which is pretty cool.
Right.
So um,
What did you get? A mega
two
pack or
hobby
what were you
boxes.
after? Okay.
I put in for everything because I figured even if I won a case for like $2,200, like I feel like I could flip it in a second. And I think getting two hobby boxes, I think I paid like $300 or $400 for just a hobby box by itself last year. So
Right.
I think getting it at like the top price, I think is pretty cool. And so now I got to figure out like, do I keep them and rip them? Do I just do something fun on Whatnot? But like from what I saw yesterday, there wasn't that many VeeFriends actually like getting these. So I think that's pretty cool.
It's felt like it's changed a little bit. So I'm big into the comics. I've been getting them. Um, I've been getting 8 per release
Uh
so that
huh.
I can, so I could figure out if I can get a good, you know, cover or whatever. I think at some point I want to have them graded and have a collection. And at the same time, I kind of feel like I don't think I'll ever have a full collection because the way that they released the comic one, it's out of my price range. Like it's just astronomical because of the, limited amount of comic one. So,
I mean, so if you like sold a bunch of those comic and you're ordering 8, my hypothesis is that you could like squirrel money away by selling them one at a time and get that number one. But from the same perspective, I think there's been some like people that have entered the ecosystem in VeeFriends over the past 2 to 3 months that just have deep, deep wallets. And so
yep.
some of those like higher tier items are like getting harder. Like I think the floor price of like a gift goat now is like 10K or something like that. Um, or maybe even higher. So but from the same perspective, like these bigger spenders, are they gonna hold on to that stuff? Like, I don't know. So
Yeah,
it'll
I
be
don't know
interesting
either.
to see.
Are you going to plan? I think you started to say this. I don't know if I got the answer. Are you going to rip? Are you going to do back to time on Whatnot and tell jokes and pull cards and sleeve them and do all that stuff?
I think so, because there's like only from the perspective of there's a certain game mechanic that I want to do on Whatnot that I've never seen anyone do. That's
Okay.
called rip and steal. So like the packs have 4 cards in it. And
Okay.
so and since I won the raffle, I'll get my boxes probably before a lot of different people. So rip and steal, the packs would be around like $25,
Okay.
and it's a 4-minute timer. So I would just sit there and say, "Does anyone want to rip this pack?" And if you'd be like, "Oh yeah, me, Robbie, I want to rip this pack," and so then with the timer going on, in for 4 minutes, I start to open the pack, but
Okay.
then people can steal it from you. They see the cards, so it might be like, "Oh, this is just a base pack," but maybe it has like the Fearless Fairy or a character that somebody wants, so they could steal it for like 26, 27, or maybe you rip it open and there's a or the an erupt card in there, and then suddenly it shoots up to like $1,000, and whoever it ends with, that's who gets it.
And it's never been done before.
Not that I know of, not in VeeFriends anyway.
Interesting.
Because
I
usually,
wonder if Whatnot would even be able to support it because I'm trying to think of how how you put an auction up and there's a winner. Therefore, that person starts to open the pack. How does somebody come in and have the timer? I mean, it feels like I'm overthinking it. I like the idea, and if you figure it out, I'd like to do it with you.
oh yeah, no, it's because I start the 4-minute timer, and if it gets to the end to 1 second, and somebody bids $25 at the last second, they would win that, and we wouldn't have the opportunity to see what's in it.
Okay. So they're buying a blind.
It's like half blind because once you pay the $25, the pack opens up and people can steal it from you.
Okay. But you can't do a what is it called? Last right of refusal or whatever. Like where, hey, that guy bid, but I'll match it and keep the pack.
I did. So if you were the first bidder for the $25 and you still wanted that pack, you would have
Yeah.
to battle with other people for it.
Wow. Like this gladiator shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. I'm trying to figure out. I own a bunch of stuff. I have the three hobby boxes I bought as a VeeFriend one holder of 2025 that are still unopened sitting, and I've held them and watched them go from like 500 to 800 back to 500. And I don't know. I think deep down I want to rip them on camera, and I want to do it in a way that's
Hold
fun and not that everybody's burned
on.
out. Sorry.
How much did you pay for them all?
I paid $99 a box.
Okay, so this is my whole theory on it. You should sell one just to make your money back, stash one for the future, and then rip one for yourself. That way you made your money back, you have one for the future, and you can, that's because that's what I'm trying to do with NFTs, even though I'm not
Okay.
very disciplined. Buy them in threes, one to stash, one to keep for yourself right now, and then one to flip and make your money back. And like that's
Is
how
it
I think
working for you?
no, because I am inconsistent and I'm attracted to shiny things. Like I bought a Nibbles today. Do you have any Nibbles?
No, I don't have any nibbles.
Oh, I bought a Nibbles today because it was supposed to get me into this. You're not gonna believe this, Robbie. So there's a mint today, and I'm like, oh, if I buy this Nibbles, I'll get into it. And like I'm so outside of like the ecosystem, I forget what it's in ordinals too, but I forgot about snapshots. It's like, oh, I didn't make the snapshot, but I still have a Nibbles and I love it, and it's a ghost. So there you go.
Well, good for you. No,
Thank
I
you.
try to do the same thing. I usually don't buy anything less than two because I want to be able to keep one forever and I want to sell one to try and make some money on the way up as opposed to get
Yeah.
my money back. You know, I have MFers that way, wrecked guys that way that I'm kind of holding. Hey, I know we're up against the time that you said. So
Oh
I
yeah, I
wanted
gotta
to
go.
say, yeah, I wanted to say thank you. I
For sure.
apologize for any technical difficulties. I know that it's not me that causes them. I'm really glad that you were willing to live through them. And I
You
hope
did
that
it.
you're still so enamored that you'll make a return trip and, call it weeks or months from now.
Absolutely. I'll be there.
Awesome. Any last words for your super fans?
Thank you everybody for tuning in. Robbie's the best, and I'm always I love talking about this health stuff and then diving into Web3, my two favorite things. So thanks for having these conversations, Robbie.
I appreciate you being here. With that, we're off. Thanks. Enjoy your weekend.
Later, dude.